All right, everyone, welcome back to the Golf Unfiltered podcast. Happy New Year to everyone. It's nice to see all of you. It's nice to see Team GU here on the show. I'm Adam. That's Dan. That's Nikki. Dan, you had a pretty low key New Year's Eve. You were saying you and the missus.
Yeah. I think the highlight of the night probably had to have been John Mayer from a cat cafe in Tokyo. That probably was the definitely the highlight of the night, which goes to show you just how rockin' of a night I had.
Yeah, the clips of that are hysterical. And then Nikki, you guys stay in?
Yes, we did. It's hard to, go hard in the paint when you have a 4-year-old. But yeah, we stayed in. We watched Chappelle's new stand-up that just got put on Netflix. And then passed out before midnight. So yeah, I say that actually. I got in the bed before midnight, but then I stayed up till midnight because I was fully expecting Taylor Swift to release something and was let down again. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw clips of the new Chappelle stand up, and I'm debating whether or not I want to watch it, but I probably will. At any rate, we got something special for everyone. Oh, go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
All right.
I mean it's classic Chappelle, but it's in terms of why you're probably avoiding it, it's better than his last one. We'll put it that way.
Fair enough. Well, this episode, hopefully will go through smoothly as opposed to what he was doing in months past. But we got a nice thing for everyone today. So it's a new year, January 1. We're recording this. We obviously are very excited for some things in the world of golf, not just pro golf, but golf in general. For 2024. And so Team GU, we're going to go through some predictions as well as what's in and what's out for 2024. And so what's great about this is none of us have any idea what anyone else is going to say. We've not compared lists or anything like that. In fact, I think most of us are still putting our lists together as this episode goes on. But that's what we're going to do today. And so to kind of kick things off, why don't we go, we're going to kind of do round robin. And we're going to talk through our predictions first, maybe. And then we can also, at the end, talk about what's in and what's out for 2024, since that seems to be all the rage these days. So while you guys are thinking about yours, I can kick things off with my first prediction. And Dan, this is the one where I think you and I might have the same thought around this, but I believe and I predict that Victor Hovland is going to win a major in 2024. Is that anywhere in the ballpark of yours, Dan?
That was literally one of my three. So yeah, I guess I'll just say same, and we'll just pass it over to Nikki because we both had that same first.
Did you guys both just put a major, or did you put a specific major?
I just have a major. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of stay within that same theme. One of my predictions was that Rory wins a major again. Not any specific one. Thinking Pinehurst actually. But I don't want to like put pen to paper with that one, but I'm just going to say that Rory wins another major this year. I don't know if I want to say this out loud, but I'm about to. I don't think he's going to win the Masters. Okay. But I do think he's going to win another major again this year. So, but just note, if he does win the Masters, I still get credit for that because I did say he wins a major. So
you do get credit because you showed your work on that one. So we understand, and it's fine.
I did. I showed my work.
Nice. Yeah. I think with Hovland as well, it similar to Rory. I mean, they were both just playing so well towards the end of the year, and really Rory throughout the year. Victor was more so towards the end of it. It would almost be more shocking if those two guys didn't win a major in 2024. Just riding the trends that they've been setting towards the end of 2023. So, all right. Well, that's one prediction. Why don't we do this snake draft? Go for it.
Well, I also put on there, I typed this out and then I deleted it. And then I typed it out and then I deleted it again. But I'm going to say it because I feel like it needs to be, I don't have it in print, but I feel like it needs to be out there in the world. I feel like Max Homa is another name that needs to be in that list of is going to win another major or going to win a major this year. I'm not going to say which one. I don't know which one, but I feel like Max Homa is gonna win one this year. Maybe it's the fifth major. Maybe it's the Players, but like I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna see Max Homa with one too.
It's probably a safe prediction. Is that your second prediction there?
No.
Okay.
No,
That was
it's
just
not,
one.
Like I said, I didn't write it down. It's not like it's not, in a tablet in the commandments or anything, but
Right.
I am putting it in the universe. I'm manifesting it for him.
Nice. I like that for him. Love that for him, actually. Well, why don't we do this snake draft style? And Nikki, why don't you now do your second prediction if you've got one? Otherwise, we could.
I do, and it stays with the same theme. And I actually put pen to paper with this one. I put that Brooks finally wins Masters.
Oh, Brooks finally
because
wins the Masters.
Yeah. And that honestly is the main reason why I didn't put that Rory won this, like that he would just won a major, because I had already put the Brooks won the Masters. I just think he's got that, like, just had a baby magic. He's got that, like, that live money, and he's feeling good. He still has the goodwill from the guys on the PGA Tour after playing with them in the Ryder Cup. Like, things are just going well for him. And I think we saw how well he played last year in the Masters when things were up against him. And so I think he just, now that things are going kind of well and he's got a little bit of extra, I don't know, like mojo or, like the new baby magic or whatever, I think some of that may help push him over that edge that he may, I don't know, maybe that's the thing that he was like missing to get over the curve of not winning. I don't know.
The new baby magic. I like that. So that you heard it here first. Yeah, perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hashtag perspective.
All right, Dan, your turn. Second prediction.
Second prediction is the framework agreement will never actually be signed. It will go away. It will just straight up disappear as if it never.
That was my second one. Like I literally have it written down. All right, well, you go now.
Why don't you think my third one is along those lines.
Well, wait, hold on. Stay with the framework agreement. Why don't you think it's going to be signed? What's your reasoning?
Because it hasn't happened yet. I mean, they had June, July, August, September, October, November, December. They had 6-7 months to do it, and in that time, not only has nothing substantial happened, but now Fenway Sports Group, along with a bunch of other professional sports owners in this country, have now essentially pooled all their money together to throw a bid in. And I know that all three parties will tell you that is not being done because the framework agreement is in trouble. But guess what? It's being done because the framework agreement is in trouble and won't actually end up coming to fruition. So that's my reasoning behind it.
I'm kind of along the same lines with you. I mean, I feel like with this extension that just happened, because I also had that as my number 2 prediction, that it will not get signed. I don't see the public investment fund and the Saudis acquiescing to anything that the PGA Tour has to say. I mean, Jay Monahan wants something very specific, and that is control. And he's just not going to get that from the public investment fund. And so I don't think the handshake agreement, quote unquote, that, we're not going to poach each other's players anymore. Well, that was clearly out the window when John Rahm went over to Live Golf. And so clearly one side of that conversation is controlling that conversation, and it's not Jay Monahan. And
to me, the day that Rahm signed was the day that the deal died in my book.
Yeah. Is Don McLean still around? He can write a song about that. I
Yeah,
think.
right.
The day the music died.
The day the strategic alignment died, or whatever they called
Correct. Oh man, if only we knew someone who played guitar and sang. Chris McEwen, where are you at? Come on, you could do this. So yeah, but I think the extension at the end of the year was just a sign, like you were saying, it's a sign of things to come, or maybe what's not going to happen. And setting it as the Masters as the new deadline is just kind of a kick to the nuts in a way for them. I mean, it's like John Rahm being the defending champion, of course. I mean, too many things are lining up where it's like, all right, we are the ones actually in control of this. Them being the PIF.
Well, I think the reason why they did the Masters too is because, like all of us and like everyone else, they just want to go to the Masters too. So if the framework deal runs out while they're at the Masters, then the PIF can all go there and hang out and get to do their whole Masters experience, and then be like, you know what, never mind.
Right.
After they've already been there, it's. I mean, hey, heady play on their part. It's their guarantee way to get their grounds passes for Augusta National this year.
It could be. So they don't have to call Nikki anymore. Get out of her DMs, by the way, people. Good Lord.
Jeez, yeah, seriously.
Everyone's asking Nikki for tickets.
She can't even get us tickets. She's not going to get some randos in her DM tickets. Like, let's be real here.
I've been saying.
All right. So we'll go back around this way. My third prediction is a little bit step outside of pro golf. I think it's going to be that going off of the rules changes to the golf ball. I think we're going to see the resurrection of an old golf brand. And I think this is a huge opportunity for one of I'm talking like, even though Ram Golf is around again,
say what you're going
to
say the brand. I think you're going to say it, and I'm going to be so excited if it's what I think you're going to say.
Is it Schlesinger? Let's bring Schlesinger back.
No.
Okay, what were you thinking?
Top Flight.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Top Flight actually still they still make
they do.
No,
they do. But Top Flight, once upon a time, Adam, you remember Top Flight was like the brand back in the day.
John Daly.
Well, now it's like the brand. Like if you're gonna buy like an introductory set of kids clubs from like Dick's Sporting Goods or something, they're all Top Flight.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's funny. This is just an someone's going to view this rule change and the nerfed golf balls as an opportunity for marketing. Be like, look, remember us? Nobody wanted us before, but you come crawling back. And that's what I think is going to happen as far as just an old resurrected golf brand is going to pop up at some point. And 'tis the season with the PGA show around the corner. All right, Dan, your time. Go ahead, Nikki.
Oh no, I was going to say, so Slozing, I always pronounce this wrong. Schlesinger.
Yeah.
I feel like despite the like equipment side of things, they still like dominate the Augusta Pro Shop though. Like they have their label is on everything in there.
Wow.
And maybe not everything. They've gone way more with the Peter Millar stuff now, but I know if you like are finding vintage Masters gear or something like that, they're way more on the apparel side of things. So if they are going to have a resurgence, you're probably going to see a lot of those like vintage style clothing have a swing back as well. So
for sure,
just throwing that out there.
For sure. Yeah. Wow. A little foreshadowing there too. I think we're all syncing very well today, folks. I'm very proud of this. The three of us, we're all in the same mind space, and you'll see what I mean here in a little bit. All right, Dan, your third prediction.
So my third one plays off of my second prediction, and that is that once this framework agreement doesn't actually get signed and dies, I think we are going to see a significant exodus. I don't use the word mass exodus because I don't think it's going to be mass numbers. I say significant exodus because I think that the exodus that we're going to see is going to be some very significant major names. So I don't think it's going to be like the first time where we're going to see like 30 guys leave, but I think we are going to see another exodus, but this time it's going to be not just big names, but names that none of us ever thought would go because up until now they have basically flat out said they were not going to go. But I think
Like
that
who?
once this
Name
thing,
them.
Name names, Daniel.
Name them.
you know, I don't know.
Manifest it, Dan. Manifest it.
I won't say this. This is not a specific person I think going, but I think we will see some of the Jordan Spieth types who have very publicly, not Jordan Spieth specifically necessarily, but I think we will see names like that who have very publicly been very pro tour this entire time. I think once this thing dies and they realize that it's never happening, I think we will see names of that ilk and names of that public support of the PGA Tour side will go. I'll do you one better. I think we will see at least one player on the current player advisory council board go while he's still an active member. Like he will essentially resign his position, kind of like what Rahm did. He will essentially resign his position for the sole purpose of going to live. So how about that? I'll go that far. I'll say one active policy board member will leave to go to live.
So
well, there you
Jordan
go.
Spieth just recently took over for Rory.
Yeah.
And you
it could
mentioned
be
Jordan
him.
Spieth types. So are you saying Jordan Spieth?
Sure, why not? Jordan Spieth will go to live. There we go.
There we go. All right, I'm writing it down on the 1620 mark on the January 1st, 2024 podcast. Dan Hauser. Jordan Spieth is going to live. You heard it here first, folks. All right, Nikki, your third prediction.
All right. Funnily enough, I think my third prediction is that one of us will have to make another public apology video. And I'm really glad we just had that discourse right before that prediction. So who knows? Maybe it will have to be to Jordan Spieth. Maybe I'll have to make another one to Justin Thomas. Maybe I'll have to make one to Max Homa for like jinxing him in the majors or something.
That reminds me, because Nikki, the last time we recorded, you weren't on with us. I have to do that right now. I have to give my public apology to you because I did not make the playoffs in our league, and it was 100% because of Jared Goff. So, I'll formally, officially eat that crow with you on with us now because I did it last episode when you weren't on with us. So now that you are here, I missed the playoffs, and it was 100% because of Jared Goff.
Well, there you go. See? See, she doesn't even have to say a thing. She's like, I told you. Yeah.
No.
Oh, all right.
So that's my third and final prediction is one of us, probably me, will have to make another public apology video.
Fair enough. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are our three predictions, each of us. I think that we went conservative, but I think some of these, if not all of them, are probably going to happen. As far as what's in and what's out. So, Nikki, you are our pop culture ear to the ground here as far as the ins and outs. How does this work? Because I have a good idea of how this works, but why don't you let us know as far as what's in and what's out for 2024?
Yeah. So, I mean, ins and outs, I think people are just doing like, instead of making resolutions and being like, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to stop eating sugar and I want to go to the gym 4 days a week and like that boring. Like, no, we're just doing like things that we're gonna do more of this year and things that we're gonna do less of. Like, and so things that are in, things that are like on trend, things that are in for this year, and then things that are totally out, things that we're going to stop doing, things that are just, things that give you the ick now, whatever the kids are saying. I mean, I wrote down all the minor golf themed, like I didn't go the pop culture route. I've got my like personal list of some that I'm, doing, but like that I was writing late last night, and my first one was like, outs, like the hiccups, because I don't.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, they are. They're the worst. And I had them a lot. And I was like, I'm going to really tackle those in 2024. Like, I don't want to keep getting those a lot. Like, I gotta take my Amazeprol more religiously so that I can stop getting the hiccups.
I just had to refill a prescription for that. Good Lord. What's happening to us?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they can be like as simple as that, but they can be, as big as like, things that are out are like, negative attitude or like being impatient while driving, things like that. But I wrote down mine for this episode for like focus mine on things for like golf.
All right. Well, why don't you kick us off with an example of one? And I think that'll give me and Dan a little bit more time. I've got one ready.
Okay, so
I've got one. I've got one ready.
For my first one, I just did 3 for each. So for my first one, for my first I put learning how to gamble. Specifically on, I guess, for golf, but like just in general. Like I don't know.
Resolution.
I don't know anything about anything.
That's not what you wanted to say.
Clip that.
Oh, great.
She's an Ozark fan. I know what you wanted to say.
I don't like. I'd almost send over and be like, "Hey, I put this parlay together. What do you guys think?" And I'm like, "Yep, sure, sounds great." But that's, I don't understand what like the plus and the minus means. No matter how many times Adam explains it, I don't get it. I don't get what, and like my husband has tried to explain it to me too, and what the difference between the money line versus like a spread. And I know that there are people listening to this going, "Wow, she's an idiot." And
no.
But I just don't get it. Like if I just want if I want to place a bet, I'm like, yeah, I bet that this team will win. Hooray. Like that's what I want to do. Like I bet that like this person will win this tournament. Like, and I understand like the nuances too of like, I bet that this person will win this tournament by this many strokes. But like, I don't understand the like, oh, they're favored by X amount of whatever, or they're like, all that stuff. So like, I want to understand that better so that when people come out and say like, oh, his odds are this, I'm like, what? So also, this may give more context here. Math in general, just like I'm terrified for my kid to get into like elementary school level math because I'm gonna hit my limit. Like we hit like multiplication tables, we hit like long division. I'm gonna be like, you know what? It was nice being able to help with your homework. We're gonna have to hire a tutor. Sorry. So
mommy can only take us so far. This is done.
You know what? Well, I can help. Why don't I keep helping you with reading and spelling, and go ask your father for math? So
I love it. I love it. You want to be a gambling girly. I love it. That's what. Well,
maybe make some money. Maybe lose all of our money and have to sell our home. Who knows? That's.
She's already got the right mindset.
That's right. Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good one. Dan, do you got an in or an out?
Yeah, I guess my my out, I guess, would be Nike Golf. Because it would appear that they're literally on the way out. I know it's a easy one, but that was the first one I came up with from the literal sense. So yeah, that's all I've got so far.
Nike is definitely on the way out, and it's going to be interesting to see what everyone's thinking of Tiger, what he's going to wear, and we've talked about it even on our social media channels. Is he going to have his own brand? Chances are probably. I have kind of going off of one of my predictions related to the rule changes. I think what's going to be in is just an insufferable amount of retro golf clubs. You're going to see people.
I have that too, actually. Buying golf gear on Marketplace and eBay is
100%. 100%. Marketplace, eBay, you're going to let it go, whatever. You're going to see a lot of persimmons. You're going to see some old school blades. You're going to see all of this just because people are going to just embrace it. And I'm not against it, but we're going to see it everywhere, I think, in 2024. It's going to be the new in thing. And I know that we've even seen some brands already that have started doing that. I mean, even Macklemore with his Bogey Boys. There's a name that you don't think we'd ever mention on this podcast, but Macklemore, he went with that whole shtick So yeah, we're gonna see more of that. And I'm talking clothing, basically Chris McEwen's entire wardrobe is what I think we're gonna see in 2024.
But see, I think it's going to go a step further than that in terms of like buying a lot more of it and like seeing a lot more of it being sold. I think it's going to go a step further than that, and like kind of how you mentioned with like the Bogey Boys brand embracing it. And now, granted, they embraced it prior to the rollback a little bit, but like seeing more brands kind of embrace the like vintage vibe, even outside of like the equipment in general, but like with the clothing, and even some like Instagram accounts and stuff popping up that just like showcase those kind of more vintage or older like clothing or equipment or whatever, that they can like, I don't know, accounts that kind of cater towards collecting that kind of stuff.
Correct.
I think you're going to see more of that pop up too.
You pointed me in the direction of a cool website that will remain nameless right now because we don't want everyone to go there, but it's a really cool place.
There's several like that are starting to pop up that are like they go and collect vintage gear, and then they kind of showcase it on their social media profiles, and that's kind of their whole thing is, how can we showcase this vintage golf gear?
Yeah. I think we should just bring back cigarette advertisements. That's what I really want to be in. Just cigarettes. Can we bring cigarettes back to golf? That was when things were the best, in my opinion. IMO, but what do I know?
Okay.
Dan, you got anything else on your ins or outs?
Trying to think.
I love how we've said gambling and cigarettes.
And
you said cigarettes. Don't put weed in there. You said cigarettes.
No weed. What do you got? A mouse in your pocket? No, there's no weed.
I think another thing that we're going to literally see, I think another out of literal sense, is more sponsorships of tour events. We saw Honda at the end of the year last year, and their sponsorship with the longest sponsorship to be exact. As the tour continues to privatize themselves and they continue to pass the expenses on to the tournaments and the title sponsors, I think we're going to see more title sponsors just say, I'm out, and move on. And as a result, the tour is going to have to then take over running more of these events. So I think out will be title sponsors.
Cue the Elon Musk meme. Go F yourself.
Right. Yeah, right.
I actually have one that goes with that though. Like, and as title sponsors leave and we have like your big names kind of go out and you have like your Wells Fargo's go out, I think something that's going to be in is going to be like, it's going to go more towards like the college football bowl games. It's going to be more like ridiculously sponsored golf tournaments. Like you're going to have like the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
If Duke's Mayo sponsors a PGA Tour event, they should immediately award that tournament major status. I don't even care what tournament it is, and then of course the winner on the 18th green needs to be doused in mayo.
Yeah, but I think like because they're losing these big sponsors, they're going to have no choice but to go with these kind of what we deem as silly brands. But I mean, they're still massive brands that have a big wad of cash. But I think what happened recently with the Pop-Tart Bowl and the insane like marketing that they did, but the insane like viralness of that, like ending where the Pop-Tart went down in the toaster and then sacrificed himself for the,
so
it did massive TV numbers too. That was the most watched bowl game so far of the bowl season. Now, granted, we're going to get into the playoff games today, but like people were super into it beyond just social media. Like people were probably watching that game strictly because there was a dancing Pop-Tart on top of a giant toaster with like flames coming out of it, looking like a Taylor Swift concert, and it was a bowl game.
Yep. So I would not be surprised if that led to the resurgence of Gold Boy at the Players, because of like the mascot popularity kind of, and because of how much people complained last year, the Gold Boy wasn't there. But two, it led to more of these like tournaments heading into the like, okay, we can, because we need brands, we need money, let's pull in these like Wendy's or Burger King or Duke's Mayo or whoever. And, like people love the Sanderson Farms because their like the mascot or the trophy is a chicken. And like, that's,
And the
I
team
think,
markers too.
yeah, I think the tour could benefit off of that. And I think someone in that office is seeing it and is trying to like raise their hand and be like, excuse me, I have an idea. Whether or not they get heard, who knows? But I think we'll see at least a little bit of that. I think we'll see at least one dumb mascot at a tournament this year.
I mean, the Duke's Mayo Classic already sounds like a 90s tournament, like the same way like
the Bell South Classic.
Like the Bell South,
Yeah.
or like when they had the Buick, or the Disney one, like the Duke's Mayo Classic. The Duke's Mayo Classic also sounds like a tournament played in a non-licensed golf video game that you can't actually use any of the real names for, but like that's fine too. Like lean into it at this point.
Yeah. Wendy's, by the way, was the most stable relationship I ever had in college. She's just that was it. I would go there all the time. Nikki didn't like that.
That 4 for 4 though.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
That 4 for 4 kept me alive.
Best thing. All right. Those are good. I've got one more out, and I think we've already been kind of seeing this throughout social media, but I think what's going to be out is just watching pro golf in general. And I'm thinking men's pro golf. And I think what's going to be is not only seen with less TV screens showing it, but I wonder if attendance on site will suffer at all. I'm not ready to say that it will. I think that for those communities where these tournaments are held, it's super important, of course, for all the good reasons. But I wonder if for the men's side, if fans' taste in it has soured enough where maybe the majors are the only ones that we see those huge galleries. So more to come on that, I think. But
here's where I will say that I think attendance will suffer actually in one way, because as we've been reading with these changes, once again, the tournaments themselves are now going to be on the hook more financially responsible for the running of the tournament, which they've already admitted will mean less money to these charitable organizations. And so one way for these tournaments to be able to still give the money that they want to their charities is they're going to have to raise prices. They're going to have to raise ticket prices to get in. They're going to have to raise concession prices when you're there. They're going to have to raise because the money's going to have to come from somewhere. And so I think specifically at these non-elevated events, now you're going to ask the fans to pay more, and to pay more for a lesser product, because you're going to ask them to pay more to see more of the rank and file guys. And that's where I think you will see attendance falter, because people are just not going to want to pay more for less. And then even at those elevated events, because they're elevated events, I think you'll see these tournaments charge premium pricing now, which also will likely price out some of your more average golf fan, or that family of four now that was going when they were $20 a ticket, and now you're going to charge $50 a ticket. And so they're going to say, I can't afford that, so I actually do think we're going to see attendance drop, because these tournaments are going to be more financially responsible, and they're not going to want to disappoint their sponsors, or not their sponsors, I'm sorry, their charities. And so they're going to have to figure out a way to get more money. And I think that's where we're going to see it. And I think it's going to end up ultimately causing people to stay away.
The Heritage is a great example of that, because there are my in-laws had a place in Hilton Head for several years, and there are people who live on the island and who would go to that tournament every single year. And this past year, because it was an elevated event, those ticket prices went they skyrocketed. And crazy. Yeah, there are places in Hilton Head that are expensive and they're bougie, and those people can't afford the tickets. But there's places on the island that aren't like that, and there were people who went every single year. and they would take their families, and it would be a family event, and they advertised that tournament as a family event. And people weren't able to go, but they still needed that money because it was an elevated event. And like you said, the Heritage also, they do a lot to advertise for the charities that they like are a part of too. And they had to use a lot of those ticket raised prices for those charities. And so there was a lot of complaining too, because Hilton Head's a small island. They don't have Uber, they don't have Lyft. And so there's only a very limited amount of like rental cars you can get on the island too. So, you have all these people flying in to go to this elevated event into the tiny Savannah airport. And like, it makes it very difficult. So there's not a lot of logistics in terms of thinking of the tournament itself and like you mentioned, the places where the tournaments are, that makes it difficult. So
Sure.
I think attendance would definitely be something that.
Well, I mean, ticket prices in general at venues are absurd. I mean, I went to the you guys know I went to the Blackhawks game the other night, and we were up there. We were like way up in the 300 level, and they were still $150 a piece. I mean, that's absurd. Back in the day, it was, 150 for 3 tickets, and I'm not talking too much in the past.
I spent way too much money seeing John Mayer down here at the Hard Rock, and we were sitting up in the 300 level, and I was still like, I mean, it was worth it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, man, 5-10 years ago, what I paid would have had me like on John Mayer's lap, and now I'm sitting like way up top, So
yeah, it's absurd. Well, my wife is messaging me on what I want from Popeyes for lunch. So if I look distracted,
there we go.
Yeah,
not all heroes wear capes, folks.
That's right. Shout out Will Bardwell. Anything else? Anyone else got any ins or outs for 2024?
We know Nikki's got one more.
I only had one more in, and mine was like more mergers, more collabs, more like maybe like cross gender or like cross sports events. We've seen some of that already, and some of the match that they've done, and the Netflix Cup thing that they did, where they did the F1 and the golf thing. But like, I think there needs to be, and I've been saying this for years and years and years and years, I think there needs to be in Augusta, the par 3 should be men's and women's. If they don't want to make the Wednesday par 3 then there needs to be one of those days in the 2 weeks that they have stuff going on down there. They need to have men's and women's something combined. And I've been saying it for a very long time. Who knows if it'll ever happen? But if it doesn't happen in Augusta, I think it should be happening somewhere. So,
Here to that. I agree completely.
We have one pretty big in for us personally at GU too. I don't know if either you want to go that route, but we have a pretty big new in.
Yeah, well, Trevor Reesk is in on the team for Golf Unfiltered now, and he wanted to be here today, but unfortunately, he is puking out. In the
2023.
Yeah, he's in. We're thinking of you. He caught a stomach bug. His tummy hurts, but he's being really brave about it, and we think nothing but the best of him, and he's going to be contributing here probably every so often on the show as well, but primarily via written content. But, that's a big in for us, and we're happy to have Trevor on board. He's I know, Dan, you and he have worked together. I know he and I have worked together. Nikki, have you met Trevor before?
No, I haven't. I mean, other than just over social media and texting and stuff. So no.
Yep. Cool guy. Dan, what can we expect from Trevor? You've worked probably closest with him.
Yeah, no, he
and you can talk bad about him. He's not here, so it's fine.
Yeah, right now. I think he's great with the written word. I think I'm super excited to see what he writes and what he brings. I thoroughly enjoyed reading his work when him and I were doing some stuff together. So, as if the three of us aren't a big enough group of sarcastic bunch, and I'll keep it PG and just say sarcastic bunch, he'll fit right in with us. So his line of humor definitely lines up with us here at GU.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a great fit, and I'm excited to see what he brings.
Absolutely. Virginia Tech fan, if I remember right.
Yeah. Well,
And,
listen, we all can't be perfect, but that's okay. That's okay.
Fair enough. All right, folks. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. The first episode of 2024. Thanks to all of you, of course, for the many years that you've paid attention to Golf Unfiltered. Obviously, you continue to make this fun for all of us to do, and we hope that we can reciprocate with you and making fun content throughout the year. So stay tuned to that. For what? Stay tuned for that. Wow, I'm tired, guys. But yeah, we'll look forward to big things here in 2024. On behalf of Dan, on behalf of Nikki, thanks so much. And be sure to follow us everywhere at Golf Unfiltered on social. Until next time, folks.